Hello and welcome, all the bots and all the ladies and gentlemen. Bots first, because they take priority. It is me, Lloyd Artist, and yeah, I'm your colourful abstract artist here for thou to watch. Yeah, it's been a long day. You can probably tell because I completely ballsed up the intro. But I'm pretty excited because tonight I can just chill out and make a cool little doodle blob, which is always fun. And yeah, hopefully by the end of all these DoodleBlob streams, I'm going to have a really cool poster to play around with. Also, hello to those who are watching the recorded replay on YouTube. Wherever you watch, however you watch, whatever the reason you're watching, it's a pleasure to have you watching. Because I'm very small. I'm a very small Twitch streamer, and it's really cool to have people watching, and yeah, really cool. So, let us get started. So if you don't know me, I'm Lloyd. I make colourful, vibrant arts, and I'd love to show you some of the stuff I've actually recently done. So this one here is actually a DoodleBlob, which is kind of what it's actually the DoodleBlob I made last stream. That's what we're going to be doing tonight. But also in the very last stream, in the last DoodleBlob stream, that's what I did, sorry. But the previous stream I did was actually, I made this thing. So this is actually a desktop background for a computer, but it's also a mobile background. So you can kind of flip it around and you can kind of see these. Yeah, it kind of works both ways, which is kind of fun. I'm planning to actually release them in a variety of colors and styles, and you'll eventually be able to download it for your phone. That's actually another variant of that wallpaper that I should be releasing. I kind of like this one. It's really dense, busy, blocky. Looks really cool. I kind of like it. So yeah, that's coming soon, and so that'll be free for pretty much every person who views my Twitch stream, and it'll just be like a QR code that you scan and then it takes you to a download. It's going to be super sick. But yeah, I'm looking forward to releasing that. It's also going to be a bit of a promotional thing, I won't lie, so I'm going to sort of promote that on Twitch, like a kind of giveaway kind of thing. But yeah, tonight is all about DoodleBlobs. So DoodleBlobs is, for those who don't know, it's basically a concept that I sort of did it once in the beginning of the year, and it's basically where I draw a bunch of circles or blobs, weird kind of shapes like this, and then I kind of doodle within them. So I sort of create these sort of 3D abstract doodles inside, and I color them in really vibrantly. So in the first DoodleBlob stream, so the idea is every stream I do one DoodleBlob. So this is my first DoodleBlob, that was my second, that was my third, is that right? Yeah, that's my third DoodleBlob, that's fourth, this is my fifth, and tonight we're actually going to be doing the sixth DoodleBlob. And I'm planning to do this one actually because, yeah, why not? It looks like a cool blob. So let's make a DoodleBlob within it. So usually, yeah, the first half of this stream is me sort of sketching, basically, getting the outline right, and then the second part will usually just be me colouring it in, which is a bit of fun. Throughout the stream, I'll talk about some of the other stuff I do. So I do things like Skillshare, and I have a website, and I sell products, and I do all sorts of cool little things. And if you want to support the channel, there's huge ways of doing it. Some paid, some not. So yeah, it's really cool actually. But without further ado, let's get on with the bloody thing. Let's do it. So before we do it, let's find a cool overlay that I will use. Let's maybe try. Which one have we done in a while? Let's go. I think this one here I've never used. This is one I call, what am I calling this overlay? I'm going to call it green openings. I feel like this one goes a little bit too far out. Maybe if I pull it a little bit like that. Yeah, you might see it disappear off the side there. Okay, cool. It's very weird, isn't it? It's kind of alien-esque. But yeah, I feel like I kind of want to stick my fingers in these holes. I don't know what... God, I hope that doesn't get taken out of context. But let's begin. Now, by the way, this sketch is so large that I actually have to crop it every single time I add a DoodleBlob. Otherwise, I don't have enough memory to actually do like layers and things. So yeah, for example, this one here is the one. This is the project we're working on tonight. So I've got the sort of the other two DoodleBlobs sort of cropped out here, but they're just there for general reference. So I'll kind of use that to make sure I don't go sort of out of its boundaries. So that's kind of how I'm sort of maintaining with that sort of composition kind of thing. So let's get started, shall we? It's time to adjust my chair. It's all creaky. as it always is. It's also time to have a drink. Amazing water. It's incredible. I recommend it. Highly recommend that drink. There we go. Okay, so the first thing to do is to find a pen. I'm going to use this one, Studio Pen for illustrating. I find it's pretty useful. I think I adjusted it to make the ends a little bit less tailed off, but it does a job. And I want to try and find a line that's pretty consistent with mostly everything I do in the sketch. So I'm going to just do this for a couple of moments. It's funny because I look back at all these doodles and there's all these little these rough lines and there's sort of rough colors, but that's because they're all sort of drawn on the spot in front of other people. But what I'll usually do, because this is all going to be a big poster that I sell eventually, and so I love the idea of that, because eventually when it's all finished, you'll actually be able to buy it. But not only that, you'll be able to freely access all the videos where you can see its creation. So that to me is really exciting. Yeah, so it sort of adds value to it, if you ask me. I don't know many artworks where you can see the whole thing being created. But mind you though, I'm sure that exists. So I've also got a reference thing, by the way. So this actually is my previous DoodleBlob artwork that I kind of look back to every now and then. So if I'm feeling uninspired, I kind of look at that and I go, oh, that was a cool idea. Why don't I try that little technique? Or I really like the slime oozing out of that little gap there. Or I love the way I did that sort of terrace of leaves. Or this kind of thing, that looks kind of cool. Maybe I'll do that again. So if I'm feeling truly uninspired, then I'll generally try that. This little blue blob always reminds me of Piccolo from Doctor Who? No, Dragon Ball Z. I don't know why. It always does though. So I'll clear this for now. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. I do have a few sort of rough ideas, so I'm feeling pretty inspired tonight, to be honest. But yeah, just in case, that's all there. So I'm going to go plus, just like that. And what I shall do, we shall get started. So I'm actually adding a layer on top of this. This is going to be where I draw the majority of my outline, I imagine. But I'll probably add more or less. Sorry, I'll add more and I'll sometimes merge them to sort of get better layer control. And by the way, this app is Procreate, so if you are unfamiliar with Procreate, it's available on iPad. There's also an iPhone version as well, which I actually use a lot. I was on the train today coming home from work, and I was using the Procreate version of, the Pocket version of Procreate, and I do love it. It's such a cool app. It's pretty much got all the features. There's a few it doesn't have, but not a lot to really validate. I don't know, it's not a lot. So you're getting a pretty full-featured product with the Pocket version. I'm feeling like I want to do something a little bit different to what I did in the other blobs. So I want to add a kind of block, but I don't want it to just be sort of wrapped around the DoodleBlob. I kind of want it like growing out of the thing. So I'm going to lower the opacity here. That just allows me to see what I'm drawing over the top of it more clearly. And then I'm going to draw like a blob. Actually, not a blob, a square. There we go. Probably half the fun of watching this stream is seeing me attempt to describe what I'm drawing, because when you're drawing abstract, you can't really just say, oh, I'm drawing a nose, or I'm drawing a bicycle. No, it's you have to sort of go, oh, I'm drawing this cubic kind of thing that sits around a vine that's being wrapped around a circle. It's just like you're talking in weird kind of terms. Okay, I'm starting to wonder if maybe I should do this line thicker. What we can do, I'll go like that. So I kind of want this sort of squarish shape growing out of the blob. And this will look a lot better, I think, as soon as we add some color as well. So if it looks a bit rough now, don't stress too much. So this stream, I'm trying to aim it towards people who want really nice, relaxing content, maybe after a long day of work, and maybe those who want to learn as well. So if you have questions, yeah, feel free to let me know in the chat. That's totally cool. Or if you're on YouTube, for example, you can let me know in the comments, whatever works for you. And you can also follow me on Instagram as well. So that's at mlloydartist. So you can see some of my other works, and you get sort of links to other things as well. So don't be afraid to check me out. and follow me in all the places, and sometimes I get back to you if you message me. Sometimes I'm good like that, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes I'm not. Typical artist, I suppose. Let's go like this. And so I'm sort of drawing these lines because I'm trying to get a feeling that this sort of block is stretching out of the DoodleBlob in a way. And yeah, whether or not I'm succeeding is another thing. I may erase some of these lines actually because they're kind of annoying me. It's let's see. I kind of like where this is going already. I think I do like this kind of square thing. I might sort of tone it down with the lines on the sides there. I think if I get rid of the middle here. There we go. I just had dinner, so I'm trying not to burp. But like, it was a good dinner, I won't lie. But yeah, just there we go. If you hear me go silent, that's probably what it is. There we go. I'm also trying to drink more frequently on stream because like I hate it when you're sort of streaming and then all of a sudden your mouth kind of goes dry, and like when you're speaking it's like hang on. It's like really annoying. So I'm trying to essentially keep my liquids up so that you don't hear as much of that. Very cool. Okay. So what I'm thinking of doing is adding a bunch of sort of squares actually. I'm not really, these will kind of be holes. So these will be square holes that'll sort of, yeah, just be part of this kind of, I don't know how to describe it, this this rectangle popping out of the DoodleBlob. And I'm not sure if I want them, I don't really want them too deep, you know, I kind of want them just sort of relatively shallow holes. And then we'll do that again. We'll slowly but surely add these sort of squarish holes. And I'm thinking, I'm actually not sold on the square. I'm thinking maybe I'll try doing a circular one as well. And do I like it? What we could do, we'll try adding just a few, just for some added detail. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's a change from a lot of the other stuff I'm doing. So like, it's going to add just a little bit of diversity in the overall sketch because I don't think I've done a shape like this particular thing. Let's go back. So I'm trying to match the line thickness of this particular square just to try and keep that consistency. There we go. And let's do that. Yeah, I'm liking this. This is kind of cool. I hope I haven't run out of room at the top here. We'll soon find out. I've lowered the thickness just a little bit, so maybe I can squeeze it in a bit better. And now let's go like this. How does that look? It might work. What I could do actually, this might make it a bit easier for me. I'm going to pull all these things down a bit just to give me a little bit more room. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit better. And I'll bring up the thickness again. I'm trying to keep that thickness as... I sort of brought it down earlier because I was worried that I wasn't going to fit it in, but I think now that I've done this, it should work okay. Okay, so we kind of want it to match the perspective as well, so I might just pull that out just a bit. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, I like that. I think that's kind of cool. Let's go down a notch with our thickness. Make it a little bit thicker actually. Is that the right thickness? Yeah, it is. Cool. I'm trying to match these ones now. And then we'll quickly add those lines just for some extra detail. Bit of detail adds just a bit of visual interest. so it kind of catches the user's eye a little bit more clearly. And what we're going to do now, we're going to erase the background line of the DoodleBlob. Just like that. So you should be able to get an idea of how that looks. It looks weird. It kind of reminds me of a brick. You know those how bricks often have like holes in them? I think you kind of fill that with like, I don't know, whatever you fill bricks with. that sort of mixing stuff, that gluey stuff. So that's kind of what it's reminding me of now. Now, a DoodleBlob often contains a variety of different sort of shapes and patterns and developments. So that's just one. Now it's time to add a few more. So what should we do? I was thinking of trying this for a while, but you know, I think now's the time to give it a shot. So what I'm going to do like a sort of conceptualization sketch, which is basically me just sort of quickly doodling like this and trying to come up with ideas. So I'm going to create, I kind of like the idea of this being sort of like, I don't know if a claw is the right example or the right word to describe it. But I was kind of thinking of making this a little bit like sort of how I draw hair actually. So whenever I draw hair, I always draw it kind of like sort of like shards in a way. Let's give this a shot. That might be kind of cool actually. So this isn't actually going to be the final drawing, but it might be, I don't know, it might kind of be the inspiration of what will eventually come into place. I might even take this, just push it out just a little bit like that. And that way it kind of overlaps the DoodleBlob a little bit. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think that's interesting. What should we do now? Let's try, I love the idea of growing things out of this, like maybe growing a sort of vine or something, but at the end having a weird shape, so maybe a pyramid or something. Or maybe I do like a hole in the middle like that. It's kind of weird. I feel like I'm giving away the story a little bit. Every time I have a stream, I always think of there being sort of a beginning, a middle, and an end to a sketch, which kind of makes me think maybe I'll abandon this. I'm not going to do this conceptualization drawing. But you know what I will do? I will do this. That's one thing we'll take from it. But everything else, I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. Okay, what should we do now? Let's get a different pen. There we go. I'm feeling like I'm in the need for some inspiration. So let's go to our reference guide. We can have a look at some kind of things we did before. So it might be cool to do something like that actually. It's pretty simple, but it does have a nice kind of effect. Yeah, I like that actually. I don't think I've tried anything like this yet, so maybe that's something to explore. I do like the idea of doing these. You know what, I'm going to do that. Let's close this one down. There we go. So, where do we put it? That's the challenging part. I reckon here. So we'll try and make it overlap a little bit, I think. So let's go like this. So this could work really well. It could not. And I think once again, this is going to be one of those things where as I add color, it'll actually look just a little better. It'll kind of look a bit more logical. I might try this again. Maybe I should try sketching it out a little bit 2D before I go so 3D. So maybe I'll lower the line a bit to try and differentiate. I kind of like this. I think this is going in the right direction. Let's grab grab a little bit of a thicker line there. There we go. Let's go. I'm thinking I made this one a little bit too out like that. Maybe I'll try minimizing it, sort of narrowing it just a little bit. God, what a mess I've made. Yeah. Just sort of getting a feel for the doodle in a sense. Okay, let's let's clean up some of these lines. Just smooth them out just a little bit. So yeah, it's really miserable weather down here in Melbourne at the moment. And yeah, it's sort of funny. It's that weather that takes everyone by surprise. One minute it's like really nice weather, really sunny, and then it's just torrential rain, and everyone kind of gets caught in it. Like I was taking public transport today and I saw this poor girl just like not really wearing the most suitable clothes for the weather, and yeah, I think that's a perfect example of someone who's just completely caught out. But that's just part of Melbourne life. That's what you that's what you kind of sign up for when you live here. You know what, I might stick with this idea I'm developing here. I'll go like that. So if I add some sort of texture lines here like that, yeah, it's kind of, I'm liking this. I'm thinking this is not too bad. It's a simple kind of element you can add to your DoodleBlobs, but it does kind of work. So I'm going to add a little bit of I kind of call them stretch lines. It's just to give it a little bit of detail once again. Makes it look a little bit more slimier as well, which I think is kind of cool. Still doesn't really solve what I'm going to do with this area. Like, so now I'm just sort of roughly doodling again, trying to get an idea. I could just leave it like this, like nice and smooth. I think that's probably a good idea because I want it to kind of contrast this sort of sharp thing I've done here. I might do, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut in a little bit here. There we go. And then I'm going to sort of pretend that there's a sort of bridge here. Which is going to be, yeah, I think when I do the depth, it's going to look a lot nicer. Well, it's going to at least make more sense. Yeah, I kind of like this. Cool. So making good progress on our outline. Yeah. So after playing Mafia 3 for a good couple of weeks, I've been inspired to watch the Godfather films again. So I recently started watching Godfather 1, and I think I forgot how good that film is. It's so cool. The soundtrack is amazing. Pretty sure it's made by Ennio Morricone. I could be wrong, but it's, my God, it's cool. The soundtrack's just really sick. It's such a cool melody. It really gets stuck in your head as well. It's really sick. I'm liking that. I think that's a kind of cool shape that's being crafted there. I'm actually thinking, I don't want to do a doodle here. I was thinking of doing like a sort of doodle like I've done here, but because it's so close to the doodle from the other blob, it might not add a lot of contrast. And the aim of this sketch is to make it look really dense. So you want to have a lot of sort of conflicting elements right next to each other. That's how I sort of do it. I would like to do, however, and I kind of did it in a previous DoodleBlob, but I want to kind of repeat this theme a little bit. I want to do something like this. It's sort of like a block that wraps around the shape a bit. So I did that in the first stream, but I haven't done it for a while, so I think it's a little motif I might introduce now. So let's do that. But I'm going to have it a bit more of an erratic wraparound block. So I might add another layer just in case I completely balls this up. Let's do this. So I'm going to go like that. And then, also the great thing about doing this is it kind of divides your sketch a little bit. When you're doing doodling, sometimes you can get overwhelmed by a lot of the empty space that you've yet to doodle in. But in a way, it's a little bit like just dividing and conquering. If you divide your sketch somewhat, you can make the whole thing a lot less intimidating. I might actually push this out just a little bit more. Ooh, there we go. Now I've got to decide if I want this sort of block thing, like just sort of doing a harsh corner around the block, or maybe I kind of want to wrap it around a little bit. So by that I mean kind of doing a nice soft around kind of wrap around the entire blob like this. It'll make sense in a second, I promise. There we go. I think I did it too far in right then, but what we'll do, we'll add a bit of 3D-ness to this block thing. Add a bit of dimension to it. And we can always decide that later. I think I'm feeling this sort of harsh cut down. That's what I'm thinking. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, I've been watching The Godfather 1, and like, there's a truth that every single time I watch that film, I see the massive runtime of it, and it's like 2 hours and like 50. No, I think it's about 2 hours and 40 minutes, and like almost every single time I get like halfway through, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch the rest tomorrow. I don't know. Man has to work, you know. It's definitely a thing. Okay, let's try doing this. So, that's an interesting kind of wraparound. It's sort of sticking out and then going back in. What I could do, I've never actually tried this before, but if I go like this, I want to have it so you can actually see it going underneath. So if I go like this, makes the whole blob seem a lot thinner in a sense. So I'm going to pull that down a bit. There we go. Gonna go like that. Looks a bit shit now, but that's okay. I still feel like I'm in control. Sometimes I lose control of these sketches, but don't we all? Let's go like that. Well, no, we don't all do that because some people are good artists. Let's pull that line in just like that. Okay, let's see how this looks. If I get rid of this line here, I might just tidy that up a little bit. What do I think of that? I'll also get rid of the line of the actual blob itself. I might even get rid of that there as well. Cool. I think my voice is slowly going. I did a lot of talking today at my job. Not the best thing to do before a Twitch stream. I'm really considering whether or not I do Friday night streams, because as much as I enjoy them, I feel like, because I work that day as well, it does play a bit of havoc on my voice, and by the time I get home I'm super fatigued, and I don't know. But at the same time, every time I start sketching, I don't know, I love it, it's fun. So I can't complain too much. Yeah, it was kind of funny tonight. I was like, you know what, I'm not really feeling it, but the moment I started, I just had heaps of fun. Okay, let's go like this. what I might do, simply because my neck needs a little break, I'm going to quickly cut to an ad break. No, it's probably not really. It doesn't really deserve the word ad break, but it's a website break. My website is mlloydartist.com. That's where you can see everything that I do. And so, yeah, with mlloydartist, I not only stream on Twitch, but I also have products that you can actually buy. So you can actually see all my products by pressing Browse Products. You can also see my Skillshare course. So that's actually where you can learn how to use Procreate using a 1 hour sort of class that I created on Skillshare. Cool thing, if you click that link, there's a little QR code, and that gives me a $10 bonus. So every person who subscribes to Skillshare using that code actually gives me a bit of a perk, which is right cool. I'm on Patreon and I'm on Instagram. Instagram, you can see a lot of what I do and you get little updates on when I stream. But yeah, what I'd love to show right now, if I go to live here, you can actually see that I have all of my streams actually recorded to YouTube as well. So yeah, that's kind of cool. So if you miss something or you really want to see how something ends up, yeah, feel free to stream all the previous, feel free to stream my previous streams on YouTube. I put a lot of work into my thumbnails. So basically, yeah, that's something I'm really proud of. But yeah, you'll get to see the entire DoodleBlob sketch that actually started on stream. And so, yeah, it's really cool. Let's get back to it. Let's pick a different background. Here we go. Different overlay, I should say. This one's called Orange Fins. I give all my overlays names. Very good. Let's go like that. So I'm just, I feel like this particular thing doesn't quite work. This sort of, the way it wraps around the DoodleBlob is a bit annoying to me. So I'm gonna actually revert to what I did previously, where I sort of had it just very harshly bending around the blob. And that's really what I should have called this stream. Bending around the blob. Maybe that's the next name of the stream. It's got a nice ring to it. Feels like it could be a hit song one day. Let's quickly do that. What I'll do, I'll kind of fill in this line there. Just because I need to have some kind of reference. I think once again I've done this a little bit too far in, so I'm going to cheat a bit. Push it out, just like that. There we go. You know, I remember once upon a time when I was a kid, I was in hospital, and I remember there was this kid who was in the bed next to me. And what they did, it sounded very Frankenstein to me and my mother at the time. But what they did is they actually, in order, because they said, oh, he's too small, he's too short, which is ridiculous concept. But basically they were, I think they had his legs like cut or something, like in the middle. And then they sort of like pulled him further apart, and they put this sort of brace on there to try and, so that the bone would sort of grow between the two and sort of help, that would actually make him taller or something. It was weird. It was sort of like a bone extension kind of thing. And I just remember thinking that was the most stupid thing. They must have had more money than sense, honestly. But I wonder if they still do that. Is it even ethical? Like, it sounds so strange. Like, bone extension. I don't know. But I wonder if that sort of fucked up the way he walked and everything for the rest of his life. Probably. What a weird thing. That was a long time ago. I hope they don't still do that. Be proud of your own body. Let's go to DoodleBlobs. Let's go to DoodleBlobs. Let's go to that the DoodleBlob background layer. And yeah, I kind of like how this is looking. This is kind of cool. It's a bit funky, and that's the way it should be. I'm thinking of actually having two of these because I'm kind of enjoying the way this looks. So I'm thinking of having like another, not like a serial line, but sort of a non-uniform line wrapping around it, just wrapping around it like that. This one's a bit zigzaggy though. I might kind of change it and warp it out just a tad. Let's see. I'm trying to create a sort of interesting shape in sort of the negative space between these two lines. So this might look pretty cool. It might not. That is the fun of these sketches. It really is. Okay. Let's try and make that into a sort of thick line, a thick blocky line. Just like that. Not putting too much thought into sort of how it wraps around the DoodleBlob, just kind of doing it. Drawing without thinking. And seeing where it gets me. Oh, I need a drink. There we go. One glass down. It's kind of weird. I should just get a bottle. But I don't know, I never get around to it. So like I always, every time I stream, I always have like 2 glasses of water. And I feel like when I get through both glasses, that's when I go to a sort of intermission. Although lately, the thing that's been dictating my intermissions is the battery life of my pencil. So when I run out of battery, that's kind of when I need to go on. Yeah, it sort of forces me to take a break, which is weird. I don't know if anyone else does it like that, but yeah, it kind of works. Okay, so, you know, I kind of want to take this line here. I'm going to kind of bend it in like this. So, sort of changing the direction of it a bit. Okay. So let's try and add some 3D-ness to this block, or this block line thing, just like so. There we are. Once again, I'm trying not to think about it too much, just trying to get it down quickly. For some reason, I'm not really in a rush this stream, but I like to feel like when you watch my streams, whether it's recorded or whether it's live, I want you to walk away feeling like you actually saw something being made. I've certainly watched a lot of art streams, and you'll sit there for like an hour watching these people just sort of, I don't know, fiddle with a sketch that doesn't really move too much. I never really wanted my stream to be that. I kind of want it to be, when you actually start watching the stream, from the moment you finished, you actually see some kind of progress. And that can be hard to do, but at the same time, I feel like it's worth it. Because sometimes I actually watch some of these streams back, actually, and just to kind of see how they all look and feel, see if I'm getting the audio right, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's kind of fun. It's fun seeing some of the sketches I've made come to fruition. There we go. I'm going to kind of do that same thing I did before. It doesn't matter if it cuts into the outline there. I'll get rid of this sort of concept sketch I did earlier. And let's actually go this way, actually. There we go, cool. It's getting close to this blob, isn't it? So I've got to keep that reined in a bit. God, how weird. What a weird shape. I like it. If I may say so myself, I really like it. So let's see how that would look with the DoodleBlob line. And I'll get rid of the DoodleBlob line that would be hidden by this block. So just here. In fact, I might get rid of the whole thing. Cool. And I might actually bring up the opacity a bit so we can kind of see it in full view. And as well, I'll get rid of this line. How's that looking? Yeah, I don't know, I kind of like it. It looks okay. Let's take a drink. I feeling like this needs to be some kind of pattern or texture that sort of sits in between these two lines. So I'm thinking I'll do that now. I'll add it in a different layer so I can kind of, just in case I make a weird mistake. But let's go, I should tidy up some of these lines before I do anything. We'll just go like that. I usually leave all the finishing up and final touches to basically when I'm not streaming. So some of the more boring stuff that you don't want to see. I assure you, it's really boring. Things like me just straighten up lines, or like things like this, like making that straight, for example. That's boring. You don't want to see that. That's the boring part of sketching. So I put a lot of effort, especially if it's going to be a product. And yeah, because this is going to be a big ass poster, I want to make sure that it kind of looks good when it's really enlarged. So now I'm going to actually merge this down a bit. Add another layer on top. I'm thinking of making this a relatively straightforward texture. In fact, what I could do, because it's on a separate layer, I could just go like this. Let's go, yeah, we'll start with a sort of relatively thick line down the middle there. And I want the line to get sort of closer and closer as it reaches the end of the DoodleBlob. And I know it's sort of overlapping the other parts of these lines, in a sense. That's okay. Because I can always just remove them. That's the benefit of sketching with multiple layers. I can always just remove those lines later. Now, I don't know how this is going to look. It might look pretty shit, actually. It's let's find out. So I'll get rid of that. No, I don't know if I like that, to be honest. I think I'm going to get rid of that. I'm not really sure what kind of pattern I want in the middle. Maybe if I try something just a little bit more uniform. Let's see how that feels. So I'll go something like this. Once again, I'll just kind of roughly and quickly sketch it in to see if I like it first. Nah. I need a different idea, I think. You know what? Let's come back to it. Let's come back to that. Let's see if we want to do something there. What we will do though, I want to add that thing I was planning to do earlier. So I'm going to drop the opacity of this one down a bit so I can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to find a nice kind of line size. I think that's pretty close to what I was using. I might make it a little bit smaller. Very cool. And then I'm going to try and draw these lines really smoothly and really quickly. Nice, simple, straightforward strokes. I don't usually do that, but yeah, it's recommended. That way you don't have to worry about fixing all the lines later. There we go. So I'm not really sure what kind of texture I'm making here, but I'm sort of just going with it, seeing where it takes me. Yeah, let's go like that. So I'm not even really closely following the compositional or this sort of mock line I did earlier. That was just for more concept than anything. Coming up with the ideas. Okay, now let's sort of finish this off a bit. Okay, let's go like that. Now what I might do, I might make these kind of hairy kind of elements. That's kind of how I see it. I see it as hair. you might see it as something completely different. But I want the cube kind of things wrapping around that. And then what we'll do, we'll hide this, we'll have that in the foreground. Yeah, that's weird. I like it. We might add a bit of finer sort of lines to it. Just to sort of, once again, add a bit of interest. A little bit of texture, a little bit of interest to this sketch. There we go. Whoa. I need to stretch my neck again. There we go. And you know what? While I'm stretching my neck, I'm going to do another shameless promotion. Shame on me. Let's see what products I can flog. So this product here is called the Excursionist. It's a travel bag at the worst of times. It's constructed with durable materials, and it's actually made of vegan leather, which is kind of cool. So you can use it with peace of mind. Contains 4 different panels of artwork, all using my stained glass style. Includes a reliable shoulder strap and a small interior pocket to store like your keys or your phone or something like that. And you can find it all from my website. Not only that, but I also sell things like tote bags. This is another kind of bag I sell. It's actually, once again, using vegan leather. Once again, uses 2 panels of artwork this time. And it's actually a really nice material, actually. It's sort of like a, I don't know how to describe it, it's sort of like a polyester material on the outside, but it's super soft. On the inside, it's like a cotton satin lining, and it's got a magnetic snap closure to keep everything safe. So these are just 2 products that I sell. You can check them out on my website. That's in the browse products section of mlloydartist.com. And now it's time, once again, to find a different overlay. There we go. How many overlays can I do in a single stream? One day I'll do all of them. But that's my challenge for myself, to do every single overlay in a single stream. So yeah, I'm just continuing to add little tiny bits of detail, and I kind of like the way that looks now, actually. I think that's kind of cool. That's what it needed. Awesome. So now, once again, it's just a question of what are we going to add now? What on earth do we add now? I'm going to maybe thicken this line a bit, so I'm going to start doing some repair work. There we go. If you're good at drawing lines, unlike me, you probably won't have to do this kind of stuff. But yeah, if you're not good at drawing lines, it's okay as well. It takes practice. I have a friend who's really good at line art, and that's like actually with sketching with an actual pen and paper. And every now and then she just sort of practices drawing straight lines. I wish I had the discipline for that. But I don't know, I'm a little bit, I don't think I could. I think I'd just get really, really bored really, really quickly. There we go. I'm actually thinking of having this sort of thing here wrap underneath, in a sense. And it'll be more defined as I add color to it, so it'll kind of make a bit more sense as we go. It kind of makes me want to make a source of this sort of element. So maybe it'll come out of like a hole or something, but I don't think I have enough room either, so I could do something like that actually. Ooh, that's an idea. Let's do that, okay. I've inspired myself. Let's simply do a kind of weird thing like so. And I'm actually going to add some of these square things to kind of, to try and signify it's actually the same object. Let's create that. And I'll sort of sharpen some of these block things just with my pencil. Awesome. So we're coming close to 10, which is cool. So I'm planning to finish this at 11. It was a really long day at work today. Like, it's kind of funny. I have one of those jobs where it's a very sort of repetitive thing. You sort of do the same thing pretty much over and over again all day. And I'm not complaining or anything, but today I had all these meetings, which is really weird. It was kind of strange. And everyone was sort of like, we want to encourage your growth and development. And I was like, yeah, thanks. That's really cool. It's been a while since I've had that kind of focus, so it's nice to have. But yeah, it was nice. It's nice to have people at work who kind of encourage you to be better than what you are, I think. Let's take that. This has been a relaxing thing to sketch, actually. I don't know why. It is nice. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I like this kind of shape. I think it looks cool. It's occurred to me that in the capture, you're actually not seeing some of these lines that I'm seeing. So if I bring up the opacity here, I might actually get rid of this thick line here. Oh, no, let's do that properly. There you go. Cool. So you can kind of start seeing it the way that I'm seeing it. Yeah, sometimes the capture doesn't quite pick up the sort of subtle colors, in a sense, or subtle color contrasts. In that case, it just didn't pick up the line at all. It's sort of to do with the exposure, really, of my camera. Does the job, don't get me wrong. It's actually just an old smartphone that I had lying around. But yeah, sometimes it just can't pick up those colors that I'm seeing. So I was actually thinking of having these kind of holes that I did at the very start of the sketch. I'll see if I can get the lines right again. Let's bring that down just a tad. And let's have these. Let's see what happens if I make a sort of squarish hole. I kind of want it to sort of bend outwards a little bit. Like this. So I kind of want it to match that kind of curvature in a sense. Very good. It's actually funny, I haven't heard this much rain in a while, but outdoors it's just torrential. And I thought I saw some thunder this afternoon, but I think I was completely wrong there. I might have just been dreaming. Maybe it was just my life flashing before my eyes. Okay, let's go like this. I'll fold that in. So the goal is to try and have this weird thing, whatever it is, sort of pouring out of these holes, or this hole in particular. There we go. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're watching the recorded replay, consider following me on Twitch. It's always fun having people in the chat. Sometimes we don't find them, but that's okay. One of the hardest parts on Twitch is actually growing when you only stream art, because it's just one big channel. And unlike gamers, because when you're doing gaming, you can kind of go into the smaller streams a little bit. And yeah, when you do that, like, you can find these sort of niche groups, and it's easy to be recognized because you might be the only person streaming in that category. But when you're doing just general sort of art, because that category is always full, and there's so many people who do it. So yeah, consider chucking me a follow. There we go, and feel free to say hello. Like, I feel like a lot of my my people, my followers, they tend to be artists actually, and I'm thinking of well, actually, sorry, I already have, to be honest. I've created a Discord channel and in that Discord channel you can actually add, you can sort of share your artwork on stream, so you don't get royalties or anything. It's purely just for the sake of, maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to share your artwork and get comment or critique on it. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. So don't be afraid to show me what you do. I actually love seeing other people's artwork. It's always fun. I've had some really cool artists come on here, like Ori Yuka. I think he's got a Twitch channel as well. He does some really amazing line art. This cool fellow came on called Chicken Rick, and he did some really cool doodles as well. But yeah, it's amazing the artists you see. It's really cool. There's so many talented people out there. I'm actually thinking what I want to do. I kind of want to fold this in like that. So change its shape. I don't want to make it too like square or anything. If I go like this. Oh yeah, I'm liking this. I'm digging this shape that I'm about to create. Let's go like that. Let's try. Why am I struggling to find the line here? Oh my god. Is it this one? God, maybe it's just a heap of them. I think it's going to have to come time soon where I start merging some of these outlines together, so it's just becoming a little bit, you know, let's do it now. Let's just do it. Let's embrace the chaos and merge all of these outlines together. It just reaches a point where you have to merge them all because you sacrifice the flexible, non-destructive workflow. You sacrifice it purely because you just spend so much time trying to find the right layer. So I do that a lot. I value speed when I create art. I really do. Not the drug. That's not a thing. But I value trying to get these things done relatively quickly. And I love little efficiency tricks. Let's take a drink. Cool. Right, so this DoodleBlob is looking interesting. You know, I really like this area, and I'm actually thinking of not adding anything else to it. I might add another square maybe, but I'm not sold on it. If I just left it like this, I think it would be pretty cool actually. But we'll try adding a square. We'll see how it looks. But there's every likelihood I might actually get rid of it because I'm really digging the way this particular section looks. It's not too much detail, but there's enough detail that, I don't know, it sort of grabs your interest. And just the weirdness of that shape there is, that really sold it for me. I'm liking that. It's kind of funny, sometimes I feel like I don't actually draw these things. I feel like they just draw themselves. But I know that's not true. I've got evidence to prove it. How does that look? Maybe if I go like that maybe, or maybe I go, trying to figure out the right sort of angle that would come down as. You know what, I think that would be it. So if I go like that. Yeah, I like that. Even if it's not strictly to the perspective or anything, it kind of looks cool. So I'm just going to do it. If it looks cool, do it. There we go. Today, someone told me how to pronounce Nike. That's a brand I've seen my entire life, but never really quite known how it's pronounced. And someone was, apparently like the CEO or something, came out one day and said, it's pronounced Nike, like spiky. So he sort of said it deadpan kind of thing. Like, it's almost as if it was a strict offense to call it Nike. But yeah, so many words like that, which is kind of interesting. When you think about like vase and vase, like what on earth is that? Like, what is the right one? I don't know. Isn't there a right one? Maybe it's dependent on where you're from. But yeah, today I learned Nike, or no, sorry, I did not Nike, and I'm proud of that. It makes you wonder though, doesn't it? Like, how many words do you actually not know, but you think you know? going to try and get this right. There we go. I feel like I kind of ruined it then. I might just, yeah, there we go. Do I like this line? I think it's a little bit too prominent, isn't it? Let's get rid of it here. Do I like that? I think so. I think I like this, but I think what I want to do, I might be wrong here. Not that there really is any wrong or right when you're doing DoodleBlobs. I think I tend to make a bit of a science out of it, but I'm feeling I kind of want to make this organic element sort of overlap this window, because it doesn't quite fit with the rest of the block. So I'm going to kind of just draw over it in a sense, because once again, it kind of looks cool. Yeah, you know what? I like that. We're going to stick with that. Neat. Yeah, I'm liking this. I think this is cool. The only real section I need to do now is this section over here. So not quite sure what I'm going to do here. I was sort of planning just to do a hole, but I've also got a kind of hole right here. I do like this hole actually. It's a little house. It's a house in a hole. But for this one, yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling to think of what to put underneath it. A big part of me is thinking of doing something similar to this, but I think it's also time to get some inspiration. And so I'm going to start referring to other sketches because you know what? Sometimes the tap runs out. Sometimes you just gotta. You should always know what inspires you. When you stop feeling inspired, you shouldn't just stop. You should have a way to move forward. And for me, it's basically, yeah, referring to older artworks, older styles. I don't want to add any sort of blocks again because I've sort of already done that. I did that here with the lines wrapping around it. I'm thinking slime might be a cool thing to add because with slime, there's not a lot of slime near it. So slime is kind of something like that, sort of a gooey kind of thing. But at the same time, I could add some really cool maybe shapes or, ooh, that's a cool idea. Look at that. It's like cutting into it, but having something sort of jutting out, sort of like teeth. I do like this kind of doodle as well. Oh, I like those. I might... But I've got a lot of sort of lines, so maybe, I don't know. It needs something sort of a bit more... You know what, I might actually go against what I said earlier. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add sort of like a plate that sort of wraps around this shape. And I might add it in another layer, there we go, just in case it doesn't really work very well. Yeah, you know what, I think this is the way to go. So I'm actually not going to make it a blocky kind of plate now that I think about it. I'm going to kind of, it's kind of going to be like a, I don't really know how to describe it, but something sort of soft in form, kind of wrapping around this element. I'm just trying to get that little line straight now. I think this will look kind of cool actually. So it's another thing sort of wrapping around the shape here. And I might add a very simple kind of pattern or texture to it. I'm not quite sure. But I feel like it's just the right kind of shape. The question is, yeah, it's the right kind of element because it's sort of soft enough to sort of contrast these sharper kind of things. But I feel like as well, I kind of want to stretch down here a little bit more, but not too much. You know what I could do? I could sort of grow something coming out of here. Just like that. Maybe not strictly this, by the way, but no, I don't know. We'll think about that. We'll review that. But I am liking this though. I think this is a cool addition. What I'm going to do to add a bit of interest to this shape, I'm going to kind of carve into it a bit. So I'm going to go like this. Creating a sort of, I don't know, like a kind of groove. Like that. And then what I shall do, I shall erase a little bit into it. Just like so. Yeah, there we go. It's been a super relaxing stream for me actually. I feel like this is just what I needed after this really long day of sort of interviews and meetings and all that kind of thing. I hope if you're watching this back, you're enjoying it as much as I am. It's, yeah, I know I certainly am. I think this is exactly the thing I needed to end my day with. Kind of reminds me a bit of a shell, like, you know, those clam shells which kind of open up. That's kind of what this is giving me with its vibes. So we're trying to get those lines just right. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like it. I'm going to add a hole. I sort of went against myself earlier and said I wasn't going to add a hole, but I do love adding holes to things. But this time with this hole, it's gonna, because it's in this sort of weird soft plate thing, I think it might actually look kind of cool. There we go. And I feel like I kind of need to do a better job of the interior of this hole. So the hole's actually going to be a lot sharper and a lot blockier than the actual sort of soft plate itself. And I'll even add my sort of standard stylistic textures that I generally add to things. Just like that. Cool. So now that I've done that, I kind of want to have something maybe pouring out of it. I don't know. I don't know. Do I want to have something wrapping around it? Some kind of vine. I'm sort of tempted not to do a vine because I feel like I've done a vine on every single one. And this is kind of cool in the sense that I haven't done that. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do instead. You know what? I will add that. I'll add that slime. Yeah, in fact, I might even have it coming out of this hole. Let's see if I can do this in a way that kind of looks cool. Don't really know what I'm doing here. It's coming together. That's certainly a weird shape. Sometimes with slime, I kind of draw that in a really weird and organic way. I sort of grow it in a sense. Let's get rid of that line. Yeah, okay. And then let's get rid of the hole here. that's really weird, isn't it? So we're going to destroy a little bit of this weird hair texture thing that I made. And we're going to have that sort of pouring down like so. Just like that. Very cool. And I'm kind of liking this now. I think this is rather interesting. Yeah, I like it. It's cool. I'm going to... I feel like there needs to be something here, but I'm not quite sure what. So I'm thinking of maybe extending this out a bit. And maybe kind of going off the edge here. Nah, that's weird. It could work. Maybe I'll try in a different sketch, but I don't know. It's a weird one. You know what? I'm just going to add something strange here. I'm going to add like a weird spherical kind of thing, like a snail shell. There we go. Cool. That looks shit. Oh, sometimes I feel like I'm my own harshest critic. Let's go like this. Oop, nope. Don't want it to do that. I'm going to flip it around actually. Let's go transform, flip vertical like that. Nope. There we go, cool. We'll try and make this a little bit kind of like a weird pipe that's just sort of curled up. Not really sure where this is going. But yeah, I wasn't really feeling, I couldn't think of anything to put there, so I'm just sort of drawing anything and seeing if something happens. I'm drawing without purpose, so I'll add some shapes to make it look better, or some lines I should say. There we go. I reckon there must be a lot of people streaming on the art stream tonight. I mean, what else do you do when it's this wet and this cold? I reckon you probably just stream art. I might get rid of some of those lines there. Is this snail thing wasting my time? It could be. I might... You know, I'm going to get rid of it. Something will come to me. Something will happen and it'll kind of... It'll make sense. But I just can't quite figure what it is. Do I want to add something like that maybe? Some kind of weird growth. You know what? I might take a bit of inspiration here from that that really weird overlay that I had earlier. This one. So I'm thinking of drawing some kind of, I don't know, some sort of gooey kind of pipes that kind of come out the side. Let's see if that works. So I'm going to lower the opacity of this one so I can see what I'm drawing. I don't think I've ever taken inspiration from an overlay before. It's why not? Awesome. I'll probably try and finish this sketch, this sort of outline part off soon. Just kind of want to get it done, to be honest. There we go. In fact, I might try and more match the weird organic shape of this pipe. Now that we've done that, let's try and add bits of, yeah, trying to draw the interior of this pipe a little. Pipe is probably the wrong word for it. I don't really know what it is. They kind of remind me a little of those things that are on octopus. You know, those they're sort of suction cap things, whatever they are. It's kind of going for that kind of look. So yeah, I'm struggling to figure out how that line kind of works into it, but it kind of looks a bit like an ear now. Let's go like this. Just slowly keep carving away into it until it feels good. Let's get rid of that. How's that looking? It's certainly weird. You know what? I think what I need to do is actually have it popped out like I did before. Like that. And it'll sort of be hidden behind this sort of squarish, this blocky line thing. Awesome, let's do that. We'll keep adding just a little bit of detail. Not too much. There we go. And now it's time to do the other one. I think I like this. I think this is going to look kind of cool. It's funny, if you look at the the overlay in this together, it kind of works. Maybe I should make more overlays just to inspire my drawings. It's not a bad idea, actually. Let's go like that. Now this will be the challenging bit, trying to get rid of the background line so that it kind of yeah, it doesn't sort of disrupt these things. So I'm gonna do this. Go like that. Can't quite decide actually if I'm going to have this little pipe thing, this suction thing, sort of coming out from behind the DoodleBlob, or if I'm going to have it sort of jutting out the front. What I should do, because this is kind of annoying me, I should go like this. Like that. And then we'll bring up the opacity here. We'll see how it looks. You know what? I think that sort of settles it. I need to have this pipe kind of thing coming from the foreground. Foreground? God. I need to work on my terminology. I feel like at this part of the stream, it just kind of falls, my sort of vocabulary just falls to shit. But at the same time, I'm enjoying myself. So maybe it doesn't matter too much. Okay, let's continually add a bit more. Oop, there we go. I might get rid of this line. It feels a little bit out of place there. Let's get rid of this line in the background. And you know what? I think that's where I'm going to leave the outline of the sketch. It's 10:20, so I've got a good 40 minutes to add some color. What I'll do before I do that, I shall just get rid of the bit obscured by this slime, like that. There we go. Cool. I'm actually thinking there needs to be just a little bit more here, like that. And yeah, I'm kind of happy with that now. So that's where I'm going to leave the outline. I'm going to take a very quick interlude, and yeah, to those watching the replay or the recorded version, the music's actually made by me, and so the next couple of minutes will just show you a lot of my music. It'll show you some of, I suppose, my stuff, really, a lot of my links, and feel free to check them out. And yeah, if you take any of them up, thank you so much. I'll be back shortly to fill this sketch in with a bit of color. The question is, which color? That's the hard one for me. Oh God, I haven't thought about that. We'll soon find out. I'm going to charge my pencil. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to come back refreshed, and I'll know exactly which color to use. You watch. I'll prove you all wrong. I'll also plug in my phone while I'm at it because I'm running out of power there. Cool. I shall see you very shortly, just after my quick intermission. See you soon. And I'm back. Thank you for waiting. There we go. Awesome. Now it's time to get started with the next part of my DoodleBlob, which is sort of coloring it in. I'm looking at these DoodleBlobs actually to try and get an idea of which color I want to use. I'm thinking green. I really want to try and do green, and the reason being is because there's actually not a lot of green in this sketch already, and I've certainly got a lot of greens here that I can kind of borrow color from. So I'm thinking what I might even do. I might even I will create a quick palette just to find that color actually. So I'm going to go just create a new palette. There we go. And this is just me grabbing colors out of the, in fact what I could do, I'll undo that. There we go, just in case. I'm going to bring this palette down like that. And I'm going to go like that. So I'm just sort of gathering up some of my greens like that. And they're all very similar actually, which is good. I want to try and keep that sort of level of consistency throughout the sketch. Let's go to these ones now. Awesome, okay. And then I'll grab this one because that's quite prominent as well. Yeah, that's good. They're all kind of that nice, vibrant, bold green. This one's a little bit lighter actually, which is kind of fun. So I might add that in as well. But yeah, what we shall do now, we shall return to the DoodleBlob that we were working on, which is this one over here. So this is the outline we just made. And now we're going to add some green to it. So the big question is, what green should I add? I'm thinking just go straight down the middle here. I want to go like this one. And I'm going to make this layer that I just drew in the reference layer. So now I can go to my color layer here and I can kind of drag things into it like that. Just a really effective, really easy way to just quickly color in a sketch. So what I'll also do is I'll grab a green here. I'm not sure about this green. I might go this one actually because it's a nice, it's still got a bit of vibrancy to it. And I'm going to make this alpha lock. Let's see if I can, there we go. Yeah, I think my iPad's kind of lagging a bit recently. Doesn't quite respond as well as it used to. But mind you though, it's still serving me well. I'm pretty happy with how long it's lasted actually. Okay, let's go like that. Sometimes it does weird things like that, but I can live with that. So I'm kind of creating a bit of shape, a bit of form to this thing. And there's a chance that with this green as well, because sometimes when you just, I've never really liked just doing huge amounts of green. That's usually the reason why I tend to avoid it a lot. But saying that though, I've recently been experimenting with it, and like even that overlay I was using a second ago, this one, like yeah, I'm trying to get into the habit of using green. Just because I don't usually do it. It's one of those colors for some reason I try to avoid. But it is a really nice color, and if you know how to use it, you can actually achieve some really amazing stuff. Okay, let's go like this. And then I'm going to get my smudge tool. And this is going to be used to sort of just slowly blur that in. I say slowly, it's actually quite quick. There's something really satisfying about blurring. I say it every stream, but here we go. This green's not quite, there we go. Let's try it again. I think I should have used a finer brush on this one actually. Let's go like that. Cool, and I'll probably add now that I think about it, I will add a bit of darker green actually. I feel like when I'm smudging, I always tend to sort of, I add sort of lighter darker greens before I add the super dark greens. So let's try that. We'll go, try this one again actually. Will I go this way as well? Probably. Let's try it out. Yeah, there we go. I'll probably do these sort of wall things a different color. I think that's kind of fun. And for the flat side here, oh, no, that's not what I mean. I can't decide if I want to stick with green like that. I think I probably will. But it's also this point where I kind of want to start adding, I want to start transitioning away from green a bit, because sometimes it can be a very dominating color. Well, I always find it pretty dominating. But I find good colors of green, like pink. It's kind of funny because red is like the complementary color of green. So if you go to green in the hue wheel, like just here, you'll find the, oh, actually no, it's not quite that, is it? It's sort of like right here. So this particular combination looks amazing. But yeah, it is interesting. If I go to harmony as well, we can actually see my voice is disappearing like mad. But yeah, like our triadic colors, we've got red and blue. I might go complementary again. Let's go green. Let's try and find this particular color. So yeah, it really wants me to use these purples actually. And I think I will. I think I will use those purples. I might lighten it up just a little bit though. Cool. Let's go. Let's see how those purples look in a different layer. We'll go like this. And I'll definitely add some shading to these as well. I might even make these particular pinks a little bit lighter than the ones I'm painting on the side here. In fact, yeah, let's do that. Let's go here. Let's just select all of them. We'll go to hue, saturation, and brightness. We'll lighten it just a bit. We can play around with the saturation a bit there as well. Yeah, I like that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add some blue. Just feeling it. So let's go like that. Just here, like that. In fact, you know what? I'm not going to do it like that. I'm actually going to add a separate layer so I can kind of add some shading and variance to it a little bit later. And what I'll also do, I can actually use a hue, saturation and brightness filter to try and get the exact right blue that I'm looking for. I'll probably turn up the saturation a bit. Maybe push it a little bit to the side here. Yeah, I think that light blue is a good starting point. And so now I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with this particular color. I'm thinking orange actually. So I'm thinking something like that. Let's go. Let's see how it looks. We'll go. I want it to be a really deep orange. I don't want it to just be reduced to a sort of yellow, because I kind of do that with my sketches sometimes. I feel like I tend to generally always add so much yellow to the orange that just ends up becoming yellow. And so I'm going to try and break that habit tonight. I'm just going to make a nice, strong, bold, vibrant orange. Just like so. There we go. And I'm also thinking actually of going, rather than, I'm actually going to add more reds to it. Let's just sort of create the form. And what I'll do, I'll switch on alpha lock there. That way I can easily add those reds without worrying too much about, yeah, falling out of, or drawing out of outside of the actual shape itself. There we go. Wonderful. Adding colors is always a lot quicker than adding the outline for me, but I do thoroughly enjoy it. Now, here's a cool trick I don't think I often do on stream, but I'm going to go to Gaussian blur here, and I'm going to actually just turn it up, and I'm going to do that instead of actually using the smudge tool and blurring it in manually. Why? Because I can. That's why. Cool. I don't want to add too much orange because sorry, that too much red here, because I want to keep it that nice bold orange color, but just enough to make it look cool. Now, for these sort of weird zigzaggy block things, I might go a more vibrant pink, like that. Oh, nope. Let's try again. We'll go over here. There we go. And I'm not sold on this color yet. I will say that. I'm still trialing it at the moment. But I'll get a nice deep purple here. This always looks good next to orange. Purple and orange just always look cool together, in my opinion. Just something about it. But yeah, still not sold on the sort of pinky color there. I might add, maybe if I add some sort of gradients to it, it might look a bit nicer. We'll soon find out. I'm actually also not sold on the green running all the way through the DoodleBlob. So I'm actually thinking of having this green sort of transition into a sort of maybe a sort of blue or something. We can do that by simply just going like so. So adding a layer on top there, adding a clipping mask to making that layer a clipping mask. And if I go to a sort of blue here like that, and this will work because blue and orange always work, and yeah, it should work quite nicely. So if I go like this, we can kind of see what happens if I sort of grade this blue in just slightly. I could even add a little bit of blue here actually. Just see what happens. I don't mind that actually. I think this is kind of looking quite nice. I'll add some blue here as well. Actually, you know what? I'll add another layer for this blue section here. And what I'm thinking of doing is making this sort of clam, this organic kind of clam wraparound thing, a sort of a red, but a kind of light red as well. Once again, complementary to this blue. So I'll go a darker red for the sort of highlights and shadows. Actually, I've realized I've just drawn that all in the same layer. So what I'll quickly do, I'll just get rid of the blue here, just like that. And I shall open up my alpha lock feature. There we go. Oop, wrong tool. There we are. I realize that this sort of red here is actually very similar to this color. It's actually making me think that I should probably change the hue, saturation and brightness a little bit to make it more like that. That's a bit more distinguished now. I wanted it different to this orange. That was certainly a thing. And now I'll just quickly blur in this sort of weird red clamshell thing that I'm adding on the side here. There we go. And I'll kind of blur it around the bottom here as well. I shall add a nice thick red at the bottom here like that. And then I've got to kind of figure out what color this slime's going to be. But before I do that, I'm going to go alpha lock on this clipping mask. Yeah, you can do that. And I'm going to try and add a bit of sort of shading to this. So if I go like that, I might even try doing it here as well. So I'm going to try and kind of blur this together like that. Just trying to create some sort of form here. That's a weird one. This is such a weird DoodleBlob. I think it's probably one of the weirdest DoodleBlobs I've made. But I kind of like it. It's winning me over. I'm going to grab this sort of pinkish red color. Add that over here, like that. So I think if I add too many colors, it's actually going to overwhelm the image a bit. So I'm trying to be careful not to do that. And then I'll blur these in. Once again, using alpha lock so that I don't smudge white back into the well, I should say white, so I don't sort of smudge transparency back into the actual image. Now let's get rid of that. Yeah, I like the look of that. That's kind of cool. I'm sort of changing my mind on this particular blue here. I feel like, no, you know what? If I go alpha lock, I go blue here, go nice dark, deep blue. What I can do, I can sort of go like this. And I can kind of, this may or may not work. If I go blue like that, yeah, cool. Adds a bit, yeah, I kind of like that. I like that gradient. I might do the same right here actually. Okay, and just a little bit, not too much. And I'll lower the sort of opacity, no sorry, lower the size of this smudge tool. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. I shall go to this one. I shall switch on alpha lock. So I think I've got all of these in alpha lock now. That's pretty crazy. Alpha lock is such a cool feature. I probably don't know why I switched it off, but I don't know if it uses like more CPU or anything. I don't know. How much battery have I got? 63. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, I only really charged my iPad last minute before this stream. I sort of forgot that I was streaming tonight, funnily enough. So I didn't really, yeah, it's kind of funny. I wasn't really prepared, but saying that, I feel like this drawing has actually come out really well. I quite like this one. Let's go like that. So smudge these in a bit, create a bit of a gradient on the outline there. This might even be something I change later on. Let's take a drink. Cool, how are we looking? I'm kind of liking it. It's weird. It's certainly weird, but yeah, and it's funny because I really don't do these kind of green colors often. Like with my sketches, I don't usually like to fill like huge amounts of green in. There's even a chance I might even remove the green. I don't know why. But certainly it's a thing that I don't tend to do a lot of, and that's kind of why I was really eager to try it out today actually. Let's try and blur this in, so it's just a slight gradient, not too much. I'm even thinking I might have put that gradient the wrong way around. Let's go like this. Not that there's really a right way around either, to be honest. Yeah, I think that looks a bit nicer. It sort of softens it a bit. Cool. So what do we do now? Still kind of unsure about these pink zigzag things. What we can do, if I go like this, there we go, we'll just select it and we'll play around with the hue, saturation, and brightness tool. So we can see how this is looking in relation to other things. Oh, I like the purple actually. Ooh, that's not bad, eh? Do I go lighter purple, darker, not too dark, there we go. I think we'll keep the purple in the middle there. It's, yeah, it's kind of fun, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. We'll keep that. We'll add that purple in for the main, this kind of thing there. Yeah, I like that. Cool. So now I need to add this. I need to get some blue in here as well. So I'm going to go. Am I going to add another layer? Yeah, I can. If I can, why not? Let's do it. I think I've got like 18 layers I can use in this project. So I may as well use that. Let's go put on alpha lock again. I'm an alpha lock addict. There we go, cool. Just put a little bit of dark blue there. Just like that. Cool. And I'm thinking I might go yellow actually for this slime. It's sort of the color I keep thinking in my head will look really nice with it. So I'll add one more layer for that. See how it looks. And then I can just use it. When you get to the end of coloring in things, you can kind of just sort of drop anything in at this point. And then what you can do, you can kind of play around with the colors using this tool. So hue, saturation, and brightness. So I can actually try it out with maybe a green color, for example. Like I'll go a nice dark green there. I don't know, I don't think I like that much. I think I'll get rid of that. Yeah, I think yellow was a good choice. Because I haven't really got any yellow in there at the moment. So let's go, I want to color these things a bit better. So let's go over here. Awesome. I might even try going like this. Let's try this color in this section. Let's have a look. Let's see how that works. So I'm sort of just smudging the darker bits in here. I'll make it alpha lock. Alpha lock is, it's got to be the best tool for when you're drawing. It's so cool. Just makes everything you do like so much more simpler. Let's switch that on as well. Just trying to get that nice tone in there. I want to go like a blue, like this color blue, for the interior of this thing. So if I go like that, and I'll sort of make it darker as the hole gets a little bit deeper. Let's go like this. We'll go deep blue. Just like that. I'll sort of phase it, sort of grade it in a little bit. I'll go a much darker blue. Cool. Let's go a darker blue again, just over here, and we'll blur that in. I'm actually thinking now that I might have liked these as like a pink or something. Let's try it out. Let's go to like that, or maybe make it a little bit lighter like that. Yeah, that's cool. I like that color actually. I think that works really well. I'm actually thinking maybe if I try and match up with these reds here, like that. Yeah, that kind of works. And I've got this thing here which I can also experiment with, so I can play around with the color here a bit. Do I want to make it more red, or do I want to make it more yellow? No, I liked it before. I'm still a bit unsure about these little zigzag things, so I'll play around with those a bit. For that one, yeah, that's right. I have to select them, don't I? Because they're in the same layer as these square interiors. So I'll go like that. I'll play around a bit. I think it just need to be a little bit pinker because it's a little bit dark, this sketch. I kind of want to bring it out a bit. Bring it out of that darkness. Now I'm just curious to see what the other colors look like. Actually, it doesn't look too bad, does it, the green? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back. Do I want to go like that? Deeper purple, or do I want to go... Do I want to kind of push it more towards this red? I think that's where I'm going with this. I think if I go like that. Maybe make it a little bit lighter. And then what I'm thinking of doing actually, I want to then add the purple back in on the sides. Because I really want to kind of make a purple to match with this orange. What I could do actually, if I add a clipping mask on top, I can add the purple in like that. And sort of grade it in. So if you're not sure where I'm coming with this, that's okay. Nor do I. Then I can choose a layer effect. Sometimes this will work. Something like that, eh? You know what? I like it. I'm gonna stick with that. I'm going to pick a darker purple here, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of, I might see if I can add it on top actually, so I'll just add another layer. God, I'm going gung-ho with layers tonight, it's crazy. So many layers. Maybe this color was a little bit too purple, so a little bit too dark maybe. Let's try lighting it just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. And I'll sort of grade out that purple the more it goes in. What I want as well is a slightly darker purple, maybe pushing it a little bit towards the blue there. Just there. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I might even as well, while we're at it, try adding a sort of lighter pink. This may not work. So if we go like this, I think actually if I even push it even higher at the top there. Now, you know what? It needs to be a different layer effect. So I go like that. Maybe I'll try overlay. So I'll go overlay. No, maybe not. Just keep trying different color effects. This is very experimental at this point. Nah, I don't know. I might get rid of that. But yeah, I'm kind of liking this more and more, I think. It does need something though, and I think I know what it is now. I think I'm telling myself the issue was with color, but it actually isn't. The issue I'm having with this is actually to do with the outline. So if I go like here, like that, I can actually add just some areas of detail. There we go. And I understand I'm sort of missing a few bits of color there, if that makes sense. Like if you zoom right on in, you'll notice there's that. Those kind of things drive me up the wall. So I usually fix those right towards, yeah, when I'm sort of finishing up the poster, I sort of do what I call touching up. I'm actually thinking of doing that on stream so that people can kind of see me touch up these works. I probably won't do the whole thing because it's pretty boring content really, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you want to see that kind of stuff? Do you think that stuff is interesting? Because if you do, I'll do it. Let's add, yeah, you know what, this already looks better. I think that's all it was missing. Here I was trying to fix it with color, but I think all it really needed was just a little bit more outline. There we go. Oop, that was a bit off. Let's get back in the flow. Cool. I sort of went for a sort of zebra kind of pattern there. Or, it's not really a pattern, but a sort of zebra line style. Let's go to that pink color again. Color that in. There's also a truth that I need to take this color. I might do it here, and I want to take a darker variant of that and just push it in. So I want to try and get that roundish kind of feeling there. Okay, how's that looking? Well, we're almost at 11, and I feel like I'm kind of done. It's a weird artwork, but I'm liking it actually. The only thing I really should do probably is just add a little bit of color just to this slime, you know. Don't want to make it too orange because I don't want it to sort of blend in too much with this orange kind of hairy thing. But what I'll do, because I've got alpha lock switched on, I'll just go to Gaussian blur. There we go. Oh, my voice is gone. I think it's finally croaked it. It's alright, I haven't croaked it, but my voice certainly has. So I'm afraid you'll have to sit through some more of these DoodleBlob sessions with me. There you go. It's a weird DoodleBlob. I'm not sure how I feel about this one, but it's certainly different. And I think when you think about this whole DoodleBlob in context with the rest of the sketch, I think you'll see that it actually makes a lot of sense. On its own, I don't think it's my favorite DoodleBlob, but I think when you mix and match it with all the other DoodleBlobs in the whole sketch, I think it's going to look really cool. So I've actually duplicated that, and the reason I did it was because what I wanted to do was just merge it all together, just so I could kind of reference the entire thing. So let's go, wow, look how many layers there are. Let's go like this. Wonderful. Quickly just merge them all together. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to erase everything else in the, actually not, I'll quickly do, just to make my job easier. I will crop it just like that, and then if I go like that, I can just sort of get rid of all the other DoodleBlobs in this particular thing. So this won't be the final sketch most likely. It was just a way to kind of see how it looks really in relation to the rest of the sketch. So I'm going to copy this. Yep, that's right. And then I'm going to go to the major DoodleBlobs poster, which is this one. And we're going to paste it in. But before I actually, yeah, I'm going to paste it in. I'm just going to go like that. And so let's see how this looks. So before I end it, I'll just quickly erase the DoodleBlob underneath it. So we're kind of using the, oh, we'll go like that. Nope. Okay, this one. There we go. So we're sort of using the DoodleBlob, the non-doodled blob, to position the actual DoodleBlob. But now that we can get rid of it, we can kind of see what it looks like. So you'll see it kind of yeah, I think this is going to work really well. So in relation to the rest of the sketch, it looks amazing, I think. When I go to these doodle blobs here, I'm going to try and push, yeah, I'm going to try and find contrasting colors to sort of compete against the blue. So what I'll probably end up doing is I might go for a nice sort of, I might go for a color scheme similar to this one I did over here. It's because there's not a lot of deep dark blues, and I think maybe mixing it up with a red will look kind of neat as well. I think I've got another viewer here. Who have I got? I don't know, but yeah, whoever's watching, I'm actually just about to finish. This is my DoodleBlob stream. I do this sort of every Friday, and yeah, every night I sort of add one more DoodleBlob to the collection, and yeah, this night was no different. So yeah, that's my DoodleBlob. I think I'm going to leave it there, ladies and gents, and all the bots. And if you liked this, yeah, you're welcome to follow. I do this stuff every Friday night, so yeah, every Friday night I add a little DoodleBlob to the collection, and yeah, I think for a busy day at work, chilling out after a long day, I think this is a nice little addition. I kind of like this one. I certainly enjoyed sketching it, so if you want to see more, feel free to follow, and feel free to check me out on YouTube as well. You can see the entire replay right there as well. But yeah, before I finish, if you like what I do, you can actually check out everything I do at mlloydartist.com. That's my website. You can see not only all of my live content and the recorded versions on YouTube by pressing live, you can see my products, you can check me out on Instagram, you can subscribe to my mail list, which is cool. I should show the Skillshare thing. This is rather cool. So if you love sketching like me and you want to learn a little bit about Procreate, I've got this class up. When you use that little QR code on screen, that gives you 1 month of Skillshare for free. And so that gives you not only access to my little class that I spent a while making actually last year, but it also gives you access to a huge library of content from other like professionals, like sometimes marketing and sort of music and film, and like there's all sorts of little creatives and professionals in different industries that you get access to with that month of Skillshare. So if you like it, check it out. You can also do my course, which is kind of fun. I teach you how to sort of draw over the top of your photos, but in a way where the actual shadows kind of work in relation to that. It's hard to really describe, but yeah, you can actually find that straight from my website, mlloydartist.com. You can also find my products on mlloydartist.com as well. So if you go browse products, you'll see I have a huge range. I sort of promoted a few earlier on. So I promoted my excursionist travel bag and the tote bag, but you'll also find I have digital wallpapers that you can actually purchase. They're really cool. There's no delivery time as well because they're just digital. In fact, if I go see the collection, let's have a look. Let's see what ones we have. So we have my smartphone wallpapers. That's one of my favorite actually. That's stained glass wallpaper number 2. I've also got stained glass wallpaper 2 plus color packs. That's actually basically that same thing, but with a huge variance of colors as well. There's my desktop background. That's my favorite wallpaper for, I suppose, computers that I've made. There's also one I made for iPad as well, so that's kind of fun. Great way to support me, and yeah, it's a nice little. They actually look really cool on your thing, so check it out. But yeah, that's me. That's my stream for tonight. I hope you enjoyed my stream if you're watching, and yeah, thanks to all those who are watching the recorded replay on YouTube or on Twitch. That's really cool as well. Thank you for watching. My name is mlloyd, and yeah, you can find everything I do on mlloydartist.com, and you can find me on Instagram at mlloydartist and Patreon at mlloydartist. So feel free to check it out, and yeah, I'll hopefully see you in future streams.